Hey folks, welcome to the final installment of the NaNoWriMovember 2012 video series here. And this is basically the post-mortem. Yesterday, November 30th, was of course the final day of November, and it's now December 1st, hence the hat, which is an entirely separate tradition that really doesn't warrant any explanation. But yeah, post-mortem. Again, starting with Movember. You can see I've already shaved off the mustache here. I might edit in before and after pics. I did take some, but I'll see if my future self remembers to do that. And as I said in previous videos, I was quite eager to kind of shave it off, basically, because mustaches are not for me, and unless I get a huge mustache-dedicated fan base in the next year or so, I think I'm just going to stick with No Shave November in the future and just work on my full-size beard. And we'll see how quickly that grows in. I have all of December to grow in the beard and complete my Santa Claus image. But, yeah, I did. This is a good thing to note. I got some actual better shavers from my mom when I was in town. Like some Quattro, I think they were, 4-blade, not stupid Safeway brand. And oh my god, they work so much better. Like, this came off, and I didn't cut myself at all. I did get some unfortunate acne, I don't know if you see that. That was beforehand, but that's not a cut. And I've been using that elsewhere on the face, and working a lot better down here, too. I haven't really cut myself there. It's still not like a perfect, super close shave, but whatever, it works well enough for my purposes. I'm not exactly a white-collar business-like image going on in here. So I'll just have to kind of experiment as it's growing in, how thick I want the beard to be. I feel like it maybe got a little bit unruly before. But now I'm talking about beards rather than mustaches. Mustaches, they're crazy things. They work on some people. I don't think I'm one of those people. And then, on the Nano front, I announced on Facebook and updated my Nano profile, of course, to indicate that I did indeed conquer the word count challenge. Actually, a day early. Technically, the number was entered at 1 a.m. on the 30th, because I stayed up late finishing. But like the little bits of extra words that I wrote every day over the recommended 1667 added up, and actually I only had to write about 800 extra. Let's see, no, not even 800. Like 500 extra words my final night to get to the 50,000 number. And I managed to finish, according to Scrivener, right on 50,000, which I apparently have a very good knack for. When I had it verified, it was actually 50,007 words, but whatever, pretty darn close. And I've posted a link on my Facebook page, and I'll link it down in the description. I have a very simple PDF of the text of the novel available for download that you can read. I want to make sure that all of you realize that this is an incredibly, incredibly rough draft. Things will be rephrased, cut out, added, plot elements will be changed, but it is a 50,000 word short novel. So that's something that you can do. And on the actual content of the novel, things kind of got off the rails in the last week or so. From my recall, from my original outline, I had like 3 rescue sequences trying to rescue Simon from the dungeons. And eventually they would, after Jay goes off and learns something about life over on the other side of the ocean, and had a celestial visit from an ancient general who helped found the city, and that was like, that didn't happen. Basically, Simon died, and I tried to send Jay off across the ocean, but he jumped overboard and made his way back to town. And I did sort of incorporate the celestial visit. This is where I say that things got off the rails. I kind of jumped the shark and introduced some supernatural elements in that he meets the ghost of August's sister, who is the Queen's good half, basically. Like, the first chapter of the novel is the king coming and getting together with this peasant lady, right? And basically she was seduced, made vile. August is the real drama queen about it. He's like, she was possessed by a demon, and so her good side is what's left in that cottage. I'm probably going to rework that so it's not exactly supernatural, and that August is more like refusing to accept that she would have any sort of sexuality to her, because he sees her as such a paradigm of goodness. And then, actually, the final sequence of the novel is a little supernatural-ish sequence. You can take it either way, with Jay and Simon's ghost. And they have one last adventure. And I think, even though the very end of the novel is kind of unsatisfying, it's basically Jay alone in August's house with all the money he could ever want and food, and he'll never have to worry about surviving again, but August is across the ocean and Simon is dead. So it's kind of unsatisfying in that regard, but I feel like the final sequence between the two is fun. There are actually a couple nods to various bits in the opening chapters. Like, I mentioned stuffing things in pants to steal them, and other things that were in the wine cellar comes back. A wine cellar comes back. So there are aspects of kind of the introductory section in this final little story, which I think is a good way to tie things together, and it makes sense given what's actually going on. And that, I mean, it's, if I really wanted to, I could write a sequel of the continuous adventures of Jay as he seeks out some dark magic ritual to bring his brother back or something, but I mean, this is a stopping point. This is a decent place to stop. And I'm going to leave the novel for a while. Basically any writer will hopefully tell you that you do need a certain amount of creative distance before you go around and change things too much. Like, you can go back for minor typographical edits or something, but unless you're a published novelist who needs to get things out really quickly, giving it like a month or two before rereading it and seeing what you want to change often will be a very good idea. And that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to put it off till March, which I think is official editing month, but I'm going to put it off and hopefully not abandon it forever. As for doing it next year, I think I want to do it next year. I have certain ideas that I would like to explore. It's a matter of, will I have time? I would like to think I have time. Other juniors at my college do have time to do it. But that will be junior year. I'll be preparing for my qualifying exams. Exam is a certain term. It's not really an exam, I don't even know. I'll probably be reading and writing more than I have before. But now that I've written like 1,600 words every evening for a month, word counts don't scare me anymore for school assignments, so that's good. We'll see if that persists. I have 3 essays due in the next 2 weeks, so that'll be fun. But I do want to go and do Nano again next year, which I can't say about Movember. And I think what I want to do for the next one is have more changes of location and more world building, because this was very much like centered around one character and what he does. And I think having a, I don't know, more epic story, but like not necessarily huge scale, but visiting more diverse locations and maybe interacting with a larger cast of minor characters rather than just Simon and August, basically. But that's all way in the future. I have a year to try to build that world and see what happens. And I'm looking forward to it. And I will probably do a similar video series next year if I decide to go through with it, which I hopefully will. And that, that wraps up NaNoWriMovember. I've considered continuing on and doing a bit of vlogging for the next little while, at least like little short status update videos every Saturday. Speaking of every Saturday, I've been really bad about streaming. I'm going to start streaming once I get out for winter break, don't worry. I'll be streaming a lot then. But I think vlogs are not such a bad idea if I can find things to say in them. And I've experimented with different ideas for what I would do with that. Some people suggested talk about life while playing Minecraft. I don't know if I would do that. But I'll see what happens. But as for that, that wraps up this final episode of NaNoWriMovember 2012. And let's just take a quick look around the scenery here. Fortunately, this isn't a beautiful place. It's right behind one of the academic buildings here at the college. And it's a beautiful gray day. Look at that. That's the canyon in there. But yeah, that's NaNoWriMovember 2012, and I will see you guys in various other videos for various other things. Bye!